stop. Before you do anything else today, before you check your phone, close this tab, or tell yourself you'll watch this later, I need you to understand something. There are two versions of you, right now, existing in parallel. One of them invests $100 this month. The other one doesn't. And I know, that sounds like the opening line of every generic finance video you've scrolled past. But I'm not talking about becoming a millionaire overnight. I'm not selling you a course. I'm not about to tell you to cut out coffee. I'm talking about something far simpler and far more uncomfortable. I'm talking about the fact that 10 years from today, those two versions of you will be living in completely different realities. Not different income brackets, not different zip codes necessarily, different feelings, different freedoms, different answers to the question you'll be asking yourself every single day for the rest of your life. Do I have options or do I have obligations? One decision separates those two answers, $100 a month. Let me show you both lives. It's a Tuesday, 10 years from now. You've just woken up, and here's the first thing I want you to notice, the thing that doesn't show up in any bank statement. You don't feel it. That tightness, that low-frequency hum of financial anxiety that most people carry around so long they've stopped noticing it's even there. The whisper that fires up every time a bill arrives, every time your car makes a sound it didn't make yesterday, every time your boss calls an unexpected meeting. That whisper, for this version of you, the version who started, has gone quiet. Not forever, not completely, but quiet enough. Because for 10 years, quietly, automatically, without drama, $100 a month has been moving, compounding, stacking. You're not rich, you haven't unlocked some other life, but you have something that money can't fully describe. You have room. Room to breathe, room to say no, room to handle the unexpected without unraveling. Now, same Tuesday, same world, the other version of you. The alarm goes off and it hits different. You know the feeling, that split second between sleep and waking, where everything is fine and then reality loads. The same low-grade dread, the same invisible weight you've been carrying for years, so long now it just feels like personality. This version of you didn't do anything evil, didn't gamble it away, didn't make catastrophic decisions, just waited, kept meaning to start, kept telling themselves that this month was tight, but next month would be different. Different never came, and the absence of action, stacked quietly over a decade, has done something invisible but devastating. It has closed doors. Not dramatically, not at once, one by one, silently, until the gap between where you are and where you wanted to be is so wide it doesn't even feel worth crossing.
And here's the part that should make your stomach drop. Both of those people are you. One of them is who you become if you start today. The other is who you become if you don't. And right now, right this second, you are still both of them. The choice is still open. So, $100. Let's talk about what that actually does. I'm going to ask you to do something. Picture the last time you spent $100 without thinking about it. A dinner, a night out, a random card on Amazon at midnight, just gone. Into the void, no trace, no return, just gone. Now picture that same $100 doing the opposite, not sitting in a savings account earning 0.5% while inflation quietly mugs it in an alley, actually working, compounding, multiplying quietly every single month for years. Here's the number that changes people, genuinely changes people. If you invest $100 every month, just $100, into a basic index fund returning 8% per year, which is a conservative, historically grounded number, in 10 years you will have put in $12,000. But your account won't say $12,000, it will say $18,000. In 20 years, you've contributed $24,000 of your own money. Your account says nearly $60,000. In 30 years, 30 years of $100 a month, you've put in $36,000. Your account says over $150,000. You contributed 36. The market gave you 114 more for free for doing nothing but not stopping. That's not a trick. There's no catch. That's just what time does to money when you let them work together instead of keeping them apart. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's the part most people never actually sit with. We always talk about what investing builds. Nobody talks about what not investing destroys. And I don't mean that dramatically. I mean it mathematically, specifically. Because this is the number that changed how I think about all of this, and I think it'll do the same for you. Two people, same age, same income, same everything. One starts investing $100 a month at 25. The other waits until 35, 10 years later. Same amount, same fund, same strategy. They both stop at 65. The person who started at 25, their account is worth roughly $450,000. The person who waited until 35, who did everything else identically, $200,000, less than half, not slightly less than half. 10 years of waiting didn't cost them 10 years worth of contributions, it cost them $250,000. That's what I'll start later costs, not in theory, in actual money, in actual dollars that would have existed and now don't. Later is not a plan. Later is the plan of someone who doesn't fully believe the math. But I'm going to say something here that most finance videos won't say because they don't want to make you uncomfortable. Most people aren't waiting because they can't afford it. Most people are waiting because starting feels like admitting something. It feels like admitting that the future is coming whether you're ready or not, that time is moving whether you're paying attention or not, that every month you don't start is a month that is now officially, permanently behind you. And that's a hard thing to sit with. It's much easier to say soon. Soon is comfortable. Soon has no deadline. Soon keeps the guilt quiet. But soon is a lie you're telling yourself. And somewhere underneath whatever you're feeling right now, you already know that.
Let's kill some myths while we're here. Actually kill them, not just mention them and move on. Myth: $100 is too small to matter. You just saw the math. $100 a month for 30 years is $150,000. That's not a rounding error. That's a life-changing number built entirely from something you might spend on takeout and forgotten subscriptions. The amount is not the variable that matters. Time is the variable. Consistency is the variable. A person who invests a modest amount every month without stopping will almost always outperform someone investing larger amounts sporadically with no system. Small and steady doesn't just beat fast and scattered, it demolishes it. Myth: the market is too risky. Let me reframe this completely. Not investing, leaving money in a savings account or a checking account or under a mattress, that's the risk. Inflation is real. It is happening right now. Every year, the purchasing power of uninvested money quietly shrinks. The market goes up and down, yes, it always has. But here's what the entire history of the stock market shows us. Not just the US market, but every major market on Earth. Over any extended period of time, it has gone up. The people who lose money in the market are not the people who stayed in. They're the people who panicked and sold at the bottom and missed the recovery. The risk isn't the market. The risk is you making emotional decisions with a long-term tool. Myth: I need to understand everything before I start. No, you don't. You need to understand one thing. Buy a simple, low-fee index fund that tracks the broad market, set it to automatic, leave it alone. That's it. You do not need to understand derivatives, options, technical analysis, or macroeconomic cycles to build real wealth. The most successful long-term investors in the world are not the ones who traded the most cleverly. They're the ones who bought boring funds and didn't touch them. Complexity is a trap. Boring is a strategy. And boring, it turns out, wins. Now, what does starting actually look like? Here's where people expect a long, complicated answer. It isn't one. You open a brokerage or investment account, in the US, a Roth IRA if you qualify, or a standard brokerage account if not. In the UK, a stocks and shares ISA, Canada, a TFSA, India, a PPF or mutual fund SIP. Your country has a version of this. 20 minutes of searching will find it. You choose a broad market index fund, search for S&P 500 index fund or total market index fund, and pick the one with the lowest fees. You set up an automatic transfer of $100, done. The entire setup takes less time than most people spend choosing what to watch on Netflix. That's not hyperbole, that is literally the process. And then, and this is the hardest part, even though it sounds like the easiest, you don't touch it. That's it. You automate it so your own psychology doesn't become the obstacle. Because the biggest threat to your investment account isn't a market crash, it's you, in February of a down year, scared, refreshing the app, wondering if you should pull everything out. Automation means that version of you never gets to make that call. The money moves before the fear gets a vote. Here's what I want you to understand about discipline, because we talk about it like it's a personality trait you either have or don't. It's not. Discipline is a system. It's a structure. The people who seem unshakably disciplined about money didn't develop some supernatural willpower. They built a setup where the right action is the default. They made discipline automatic. And when the right thing happens by default, you don't need to be strong every single day. You just need to have been smart once, the day you set it up. Think about the people in your life who don't seem financially stressed, the ones who talk about the future like it's something they've already started building. I'm willing to bet that most of them didn't get there through a windfall or a viral moment or a secret investment strategy they found on a forum at 2 a.m. They got there because they started something small, earlier than everyone else, and they didn't stop. That's it. That's the whole biography. Small start, early, consistent, didn't stop. That's the template. It doesn't require genius. It doesn't require a high salary. It requires starting and then protecting that start like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Real wealth doesn't feel like what movies told you it would feel like. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive on a specific day. It builds like a tide comes in, slowly, then suddenly, then enormously. And the people standing on the shore when it arrives aren't the ones who had the best plan. They're the ones who showed up and stayed. I want to tell you something now that I need you to really hear. One day, maybe 20 years from now, maybe 30, you are going to sit somewhere and do the math. You are going to calculate very specifically what would have happened if you had started investing $100 a month when you were young, when time was still your greatest asset. You will see the number and you will feel one of two things. You will feel a quiet, almost private gratitude, the kind that doesn't need an audience, the kind that says, I made a decision for my future self, and my future self is standing here now, and it was worth it. Or you will feel the other thing, the thing that is harder to describe, but that every person who has experienced it will tell you is one of the sharpest, most specific feelings in human life. Not regret exactly, something more precise than that. The feeling of looking at a number, a real, calculated, exact number, and knowing that it would have existed, that it almost existed, that it was right there, entirely within reach, and you let it slip through your fingers one comfortable later at a time. Both of those moments are coming, for everyone. The only variable is which one you're walking towards right now. And right now, in this moment, you are still at the beginning. You haven't written the ending yet. The version of you that builds something real and the version of you that looks back with that weight, they are still the same person, reading the same words, sitting in the same chair, with the same options in front of them. $100 a month won't feel like much when you start. That's not a bug. That's the nature of things that compound. The seed doesn't feel like a forest. The first step doesn't feel like a journey. The impact is invisible at the start, and then one day it is impossible to ignore. That day comes for everyone who doesn't stop. It never comes for the ones who were still waiting when it would have arrived. Your future is not sitting around waiting for the market to be calmer. It's not waiting for your salary to go up. It's not waiting for the right month or the right mindset or the right moment where everything aligns and starting feels easy. It is waiting very simply for you to decide that the version of you that didn't start, that version is not who you are. Start, automate, don't stop. Everything else, every extra dollar, every raise you redirect, every year the market grows, builds on that foundation. But the foundation comes first, and the foundation is just a decision, today, with what you have, where you are. The two versions of you are still standing at the same crossroads. One of them just decided. Are you going to be the other one?